my name in lights. Ball till I fall and I'm feeling alright. Yeah, so let the whole world know. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Welcome back, YouTube, to my messy garage and my 2021 wide body Scat Pack 392 in the background. Hey, if you haven't, just take a moment, like, subscribe. It helps tremendously. There's no commitment. You're not going to get bombarded. It just gives you an update when we drop another video. So let's get right into this one. I was at the gas station the other day and a gentleman was looking at my car, kind of admiring all the parts, and he asked, what does SRT stand for? And he saw that on the brakes. So everybody who owns one of these knows that if you go up, you'll see SRT all over. So let me just give you a couple of shots. As you know, on the Brembo brakes, the 6 piston in the front and 4 in the rear, you've got SRT on the brakes, SRT on your engine, and you've got SRT on your startup screen. So let's take a moment to explore what is SRT and why is it when you fire up your car, you ought to know your heritage of your vehicle. It's pretty special. SRT, Street Racing Technology, actually began as Team Viper in 1989. So that original Dodge Viper was a pretty cool car in 1989, pretty revolutionary. So once they had a little bit of market prowess, maybe a little bit of credibility, they then merged with Team Prowler, who made the Plymouth Prowler, not so cool of a car. And they joined forces and joined a new group called SVE, Specialty Vehicle Engineering. So SVE stuck around until about 2002 and then was renamed PVE, Performance Vehicle Engineering. That stuck around until about from 2002 to 2004. They renamed themselves because that particular division used SRT as their brand. They renamed themselves in 2004 SRT, Street Racing Technology. So here we go. In 2004, SRT officially becomes its own division, basically within Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep. But what's interesting is in 2004, it didn't launch its first SRT vehicle as this big muscle car V8. In fact, in 2004, it was the Dodge Neon SRT4. Now, this was made from 2003 and 2005. Came out with a heavily modified 2.4 liter engine and a heavily modified chassis, and actually kind of dominated that particular division or class in motorsports. But from 2003, 2005, made this engine 230 horsepower, claimed a 0 to 60 of 5.1 seconds. Pretty impressive. So next up was the 2004 Dodge Viper SRT10. Now remember, they had the Dodge Viper 1989, but this one, as the name suggests, is the first one with the SRT badge with the number of cylinders after it. You'll notice the theme, SRT 4, 6, 8, and 10. This one replaced the GTS versions and the RT10 version and featured, as the name suggests, a ginormous, ridiculous V10 with the help of Lamborghini, producing 500 plus horsepower, 535 foot-pounds of torque, claimed a 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds, and was just a absolutely ridiculous car. And for those who love the Vipers, it had a very unique sound to that V10, but was just really a cool car. Okay, next up, right around the same time as the launch of the Viper, they put that same V10 engine in the Dodge Ram, produced I think from 04 or 05, 06, pretty small production years. The same V10 in the Dodge Ram, called it the SRT10, producing the same amount of numbers, and for many years it claimed to be the fastest production truck on the market. Again, 0 to 60 time of somewhere around 4.9 seconds, putting out just ridiculous horsepower. 2005, 2006, Chrysler introduced the Crossfire SRT6 based on the Mercedes platform, I believe the SLK. They had a lot of the underpinnings, suspension, and borrowed their 3.2 liter supercharged motor, putting out about 330 horsepower. They did make it in a manual, claiming a 0 to 60, depending on the sources, somewhere in the high 4s, low 5s. Again, was not a super success, kind of had a unique look. I personally was not a big fan of the Crossfire SRT6. So the Chrysler SRT8 existed for 2 generations. The first generation featured the 6.1 liter which they deemed the SRT8, the later 6.4 liter version, both of which put out great horsepower. The 6.1 slightly less at 420 horsepower, 425 foot-pounds of torque, but again 0 to 60 times in the mid 4 seconds. That was slightly quicker in the second generation. So in 2006, Dodge tried to introduce the Dodge Magnum. And I think a lot of you guys have forgot about it. This was their performance-based station wagon. And I only think it existed for a few years. But again, it was the Magnum SRT8 featuring the 6.1 liter V8 with the same horsepower as the Chrysler 300C on all other SRT8s at that time. Unfortunately, because it wasn't popular, it was only made for 2 years and they only produced and sold 4,130 units. Now here's where it gets a little interesting. The SRT, as you know, SRT8 was retired. 2 reasons. One is along came in 2015 the SRT 392. So no more 6.1. It was now the 6.4 liter. So the SRT8 went away and it became the SRT 392. Second was 2015 came the Hellcat. 6.2 liter supercharger, 707 horsepower, 600 and whatever foot-pounds of torque, ridiculous time, screaming down the quarter mile at 11 seconds, 125 miles an hour. And so 2015 kind of marked a new era where that SRT name changed again. So in 2018, Dodge said, okay, we're going to take that supercharged motor that's in the Hellcat, we're going to throw it on a Jeep Cherokee, call it the Trackhawk. Pretty cool. Not sure they're made anymore. I think only a couple of years those were made before those were sunsetted. But those who know those cars with that motor in it, pretty dang cool. Now in 2018, they decided to take that 6.2 liter Hemi and say, let's throw a larger supercharger on it, a 2.7 liter, and let's slap it in a Challenger and call it the Demon. And that puts out well over 800 horsepower, well over 700 foot-pounds of torque, claims a 2.3 0 to 60, and ridiculous numbers. So here's where it gets just a little bit blurry in my mind. SRT 392 Chargers and Challengers, as you know, went away, I believe in 2019, that then kind of rolled into the 2019 Scat Pack, and then the 2020-2021 wide body Scat Pack, which I believe is the best the car has ever been. Now, why did the SRT 392 as that particular performance brand go away? Probably lots of reasons. One, did SRT know that they were joining with Stellantis and maybe their group would be dissolved? Or did they see an opportunity to take a Scat Pack platform, which the SRT 392 may have been suffering in selling numbers because of the price point, but they knew that people absolutely loved this vehicle with the 6.4 liter Hemi and the drivetrain. And so they allowed opportunity for larger sales by taking that drivetrain and motor and kind of creating a platform where you could choose a base model, stripped down version, but also allow you to get all those other upgrades that were previously seen in the SRT 392, right? So you've got your Brembo brake package, you've got your larger rotors, you've got your performance pages, now you have 305s all the way around with the wide body, and so all of those that were previously seen, they allow you to sort of bolt on and build your own. And so that's why you start to see some of these parts that say SRT. It's a trim level that allows you to bolt on and put all those pieces that were previously seen in the SRT 392s. So this video was not meant to be completely comprehensive, nor was it meant to be a history lesson, but for me it was really fun putting it together because when somebody asked me about SRT, I can in a nutshell give them a 30, 45 second heritage, why it's so cool to drive these cars, where it came from, how much technology and engineering is put into these. And so maybe next time somebody asks you, you can give them a quick little history lesson. I hope this was fun for you guys. I hope it was informative. Give me your feedback. Let me know if I missed anything or if I need some corrections on things. Thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you next time. This is Shane, 4 Guys Talking Cars.
Hey, that's good. Spark from the heart and it shines so bright. Yeah, so let the whole world know. Let's go, let's go, let's go.